I don't know if this setup is really weird or uncomfortable because my legs are in it and I feel like that never happens in a YouTube video, but we're just gonna go with it. So, hi. Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be discussing my TBR for the reading rush. I keep wanting to say booktubeathon, but it's the reading rush. They've changed names this year. Why can't I talk? Okay, moving on. So if you don't know what the reading rush is, it's the biggest readathon on booktube essentially. And so everyone comes together, they all read books at the same time. It's this really big community event where just everyone has a good time, you know, and they just read books and it's lit. There's challenges on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. There's these like Twitter sprints, and it's basically all the people of all the internets coming together and reading, and it's a beautiful, beautiful time. And this year I will be participating, and I want to show you what I have picked to read. Because there's challenges that you've got to meet, and so the little like blurbs, and you've got to choose a book that relates to that. So this year I'm just gonna pick them all up and show them to you. These are the books I've chosen. I'm not very good at following TBRs, so these may change. I may go to the library and get different books, but these are what I'm thinking currently I'm going to be reading. I will read at least half of them. I can't guarantee more than that. Okay, so the first book is a Nonhuman Character. I don't know if this counts as a non-human character. He's a bit otherworldly, so I'm going to count it. It's the closest thing I have to a non-human character in all of my books. I don't have very many books at the moment. And what I do have are like classics and like books that I read when I was little, and like nothing with like all my non-human characters are back at home in Wellington, so this is the best I could do for non-human character. He can fly and stuff, I think, so I don't think he counts as human. He's humanoid. Yeah, so this is my first pick. I also picked this one because it's very, very short, and that's going to be helpful trying to hit that reading goal of 7 books in 7 days. The second book I am currently reading already, but I've decided to add it because it's 800 pages. So I feel like if I finish it, I'm only 200 pages in, so if I finish it, it still counts as a book, right? Like, it's still like 600 pages that I've read. So the next book is Vanity Fair by William Makepeace Thackeray. I'm just going to say William Thackeray. It's a classic novel. It's a bit, so far it's a bit sexist, not gonna lie. All the women are basically evil, like manipulative people who just want money, and I guess it's a product of their time. There's also a bit of racism going on in here. I don't know whether that's going to come full circle and like change by the end of the book, but I don't know. It's an it was written in the 1800s, I think, so I feel like he gets a pass because he was definitely writing this for the middle class white man. Like, because sometimes he addresses the audience and says like, your wife or your business or whatever, and so it's very clearly written for white middle class men. So I don't know, I'll give you a review on this later because I feel like it is a bit of a iffy one. But yeah, so this one is going to be book to movie adaptation. So that's going to read a book that has a book to movie adaptation and then watch the movie. So I'm going to watch the most recent adaptation of this. I think it was done by the BBC. I've already seen it, but it was really, really good. There's another adaptation that was a while ago that I watched when I was younger, which wasn't that great, and so when I watched this new one I got really like excited about the book again, so which is why I've decided to pick it up and actually read the book for the first time, so yay. And then the next one I've got is a reread. I have read this book so many freaking times. I I think I've read this maybe once or twice a year, every year since I was in year 6. So like 10 years old. It's Tomorrow When the War Began by John Marsden. It is beautiful. I haven't read it this year and I feel like I've forgotten the story a bit, so I feel like this is going to be a good time to reread it. I've never read this edition of it because I've never actually had my own copies. I've always gotten them out from the library and I'm so excited to have my own copy so I can like put sticky notes in it and highlight on it and do all the things. And this book matches 2 challenges, so I'm combining 2 of them into one book, and that is read a book in one spot and read a book with a title with 5 or more words in it. So obviously it's Tomorrow When the War Began, which is 5 words exactly, and because it's one of my shorter books I'm going to read it all sitting right here in my bed. For the next challenge I've got 2 books because both of these are on my TBR and I'm both like, they're both under the same umbrella of meeting the requirements. So I'm going to like count them together as an answer to one prompt, and that is read a book you meant to read last year. And both of these books I've been meaning to read last year, and that is The Handmaid's Tale and The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. The Handmaid's Tale, if you've seen the TV show of it, it is some spicy tea, and I think it's even more important to read now that we've got all this drama going on in America. Luckily I'm safe here in New Zealand, but yeah, it's about reproductive rights as a woman and things like that. It's supposedly very fascinating. It's by Margaret Atwood and it won the Man Booker Prize, I believe. So I am very, very excited to read this. I meant to read it last year. My class was reading it for English and it was just before I dropped out and I was really excited to read it, but then I never read it, so I guess it's time. And then the other one, The Bell Jar, this follows a character, what's her name? Esther Greenwood, over a few days. It's considered the female version of The Catcher in the Rye. It's very autobiographical of Sylvia Plath, the author's life, but she said, I think this is like what she said was when she wrote the book she was looking at her life as if through a bell jar, so it was warped and it's slightly different, but it's reasonably accurate. Sylvia Plath does actually have quite a tragic story, a tragic history, and I think that has given her a voice which has made her become a classic. This book is obviously 50 years old, and I have read her poetry book Ariel and I've loved it. Yeah, so I'm quite excited to read this. I don't know how it's going to affect my mental health because it's quite depressing apparently, so that's going to be fun, but we will see how it goes. And then the next challenge was to read a book with purple on the cover. This is the only book I have. Actually no, I just saw one on my shelf right now and I can't see it. It's A Secret Garden, but I'm not going to read that because I've already picked this one. So read a book with purple on the cover. I'm going to be reading Warcross by Marie Lu. I've already reread 50 pages of it, but I DNF'd it. I read it when I was in hospital and it was basically the only thing that they had in the library, because it was like the library at the hospital was like one shelf of books and it was all like children's books because I was in the children and youth ward, so it was very PC, very children-y, and this is like the only thing I could find that I was mildly interested in. I got 50 pages in and then I left the hospital and so I never read it again, but then like a couple months ago I picked it up, buying it, going, oh, I'll read it, and then never have picked it up since then, so I'm hoping to tick this off during the reading rush. I'm just going to read the back, because the first 50 pages literally just kind of told you that she was a bounty hunter. It was just her hunting down some dude and getting screwed over by these people. So it says, teenage hacker Amelia Chen makes a living catching illegal Warcross players, but the bounty hunting world is a constant struggle. When Amelia takes a risk and hacks into the opening game of the Warcross Championships, she becomes an overnight sensation. The now famous hacker is whisked off to Tokyo to meet the game's creator, the elusive billionaire Hideo Tanaka. He needs a spy in this year's tournament, and he wants Amika for the job. But it's not long before she uncovers a sinister plot one that could shatter the entire Warcross empire. So it's a bit different to what I normally read, but I don't know, I'm kind of excited for it because we always need some diversity in our reading life. And then the final book on my TBR is read the debut book of an author. So this is the first book that Erin Donahue has written. It's called Because Everything is Right But Everything is Wrong. It also fits under the read a book with 5 or more words in the title, but I'm just going to count it as the debut book at this point. It follows a girl just through her school life dealing with her mental health issues. No, sorry, a boy. His name's Caleb, and it just follows him throughout his school day. And I think the author's main inspiration for this, the school setting, was my school, because she is from my hometown, the author. I know her sister who was in my year group, but I don't actually know the author. I'm very excited to read it though, because it has been published all around New Zealand, which tells me that it's kind of good. It's a New Zealand author, which is very exciting, and I found it in a Christchurch bookshop. I kind of, when it first came out, I saw it in my local bookshop and I was like, oh yeah, they're just selling it because she's the local author. Then when I moved to Christchurch and I saw it in Paper Plus, I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's actually good. And so I picked it up, and yeah, so it fits my debut author and it's someone I know, so I'm excited to read this, knowing that she's in my social circles, and yeah, it's just exciting. I have her on Facebook and I see her posting about writing and things, and I'm like, oh, you seem like a cool dude. You're from my hometown. That's kind of weird. So that's everything for my TBR this year. I'm going to be participating in some of the Twitter challenges and other things. Maybe the Instagram challenges, I don't know. I kind of killed my Bookstagram. I just haven't posted in so long. I think all of my followers have just stopped. I've lost a whole bunch and just, yeah, I think it's dead, but I might do something on Instagram, I don't know. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on the Reading Rush website if you've signed up, and obviously subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.